So as you guys know, there are a lot of guns in Fortnite, and I mean a lot. Over 22 unique guns are currently in the game, and I'm gonna be ranking them from worst to best. Hey guys, King Casey here. Welcome back to a new video. We're doing something different, ranking every gun in Fortnite from worst to best. This is going to be my personal opinion. So, no outdoor opinion. I will do a video based on stats a bit later in the year, but we'll just have to see how this goes. So how I rank the list is pretty much if I would want that gun in my inventory over every other gun in the game. So say like a grenade launcher, would I want that over a suppressed pistol, a hand cannon, a hunting rifle, yeah, so on. But yeah, so we really aren't gonna be wasting time. Let's get right into the video. But make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to see all my future videos, and let's get right into this. So I just want to say I do not like snipers and pistols that much, so don't be triggered if you do see them a bit higher up on the list. But number 22, the semi-auto pistol, or the gray basic pistol. There aren't that many trash guns in Fortnite anymore, considering Season 7, which is I call every good gun has been vaulted this season. But, okay, back on track. And the gray pistol is really the only one left that isn't that good. Now, I know it does have its purpose as the basic pistol. It's an iconic gun in real life and in Fortnite, but you gotta admit, the damage on it isn't really that good. And even though you have to tap it, so that means you can get it fast, its main priority is in close range, and obviously, we have better guns that beat it out in close range, medium range if you even want to use it. ARs are your way to a go. And it can't even compete in long range, but that is why I put the semi-auto pistol at number 22. We're going to need to start speeding this up here. So, at number 21, we have the suppressed pistol. Now, this is pretty much the same reason why I don't like the normal pistol, but it's obviously a bit higher up on my list because it does more damage and it is silent, which is always nice. But, okay, moving on to number 20, the scoped revolver. Now, in my opinion, Season 7 has been the worst based on weapons. We've only gotten 2, and they're not haven't really been my favorites. But okay, so back to the scoped revolver. This thing, I know it has its fans, but there's this meme been going around, like, who at Epic Games always wants a revolver in the game, since we've had 2 failed ones, but okay. I don't think the scoped revolver is that good, even though it does do pretty good damage for a revolver. The main problem is it's a scope, and if it was a normal revolver like the hand cannon and it still did the same amount of damage, I would be a bit more behind it, which it would be a fast version of the hand cannon but a bit less than damage. That would be a pretty good gun, and I think it could actually rank a bit higher. But alright, so those are like my trash tier of weapons. So now we're going to be moving on to the meh tier of weapons on this list. So at number 19, I have the hunting rifle. I probably just triggered the entire community in 1 second, but hey, I don't really like snipers, and it's my opinion. So I don't really like the hunting rifle. I don't hate it. It's just that I don't use it. And as you know, I don't like snipers. And the hunting rifle is just the worst of the snipers. So, yeah, it does do good damage for a scopeless sniper. And it is actually a decent gun. If you don't have a other sniper, but I think it deserves the number 19 spot. Okay. moving on to the number 18 spot, we have the Scoped AR. So, I think the Scoped AR is actually a decent gun, but the problem is, it just really doesn't have a place in the meta currently, with all, like, the more powerful guns overshadowing this thing, and honestly, I really never see this thing, and when I do, I don't pick it up. I used to pick it up a tiny bit before the rarity swapped, but yeah, I just think the Scoped AR is very underlacking, and in my opinion, I think it will be vaulted before Season 8 ends, considering on how many things we've had vaulted over the past few months, but anyways, moving on to number 17, we have the hand cannon. Now, I don't have anything wrong about the hand cannon. I actually think that it is a pretty good gun, but the problem is, I don't use it much, and I don't think that it really stands out. But I know people like this thing, and I don't use it much. But later in this gameplay, I do actually use it. So we'll see how this list holds up. It really depends on how the rest of Season 8 goes. I may actually try it out, but okay. Moving on to number 16, and the final weapon in the med tier is the grenade launcher. Now, I had originally this thing at number 19. I did not like this gun at all, because the rocket launcher and the quad launcher just overshadowed it a lot. But ever since the quad launcher was vaulted, I've been starting to attract to this thing a bit more. And I've actually gotten in some pretty good tactics with it. So, even though it isn't my favorite gun, I think by the end of Season 8, it may have moved up a couple spots on the list. We'll have to see. But, of course, this is a very, like, agile and luck-based weapon. You need to time your shots a lot, since they don't explode on impact. So, you need to plan out how you're gonna attack, just to make sure that you can do it. But it's really good against bases. But for, like, getting actual kills, it's not that good. Alright, now we're going to be moving on into the good tier of weapons, which are weapons that I think are good, but either I don't use them or they're just underlacking. And speaking of underlacking, at number 15, we have the suppressed sniper. Now, I know people are mad about the bolt action being taken out, and I think we were fine with the 4 snipers we had, but we got the suppressed sniper, and don't get me wrong, I think the suppressed sniper has its following. It's just that between the hunting rifle, which is your no-scope sniper, and your heavy sniper, which is the sniper that all scopers use, this thing really is just the middle ground. Even though it does have a silencer on it, I'll give it that. It really doesn't fit my playstyle, which I tend to be more aggressive. But I think that the suppressed sniper deserves the number 15 spot. Moving on to number 14, we have the minigun. Now, this one is interesting because really, I don't use it, but I like it. Like, I think the minigun is a good gun, and for the rare times I use it, I have a lot of fun with it. But the thing is, it's very diverse. It only is meant to be used in certain situations. So pretty much that means, like, it's pretty much no use in solos. Duos, it has some use. Squads, it's its best game mode, and all the limited time modes are in a league of their own. But yeah, I think the minigun is the best spray gun we have in the game currently, not counting the SMGs. More on those later, but yeah, okay, and moving on to my number 13 spot, we have the tactical shotgun. Now, I used to like this gun a lot, even more than the pumps, but as I started to actually try to get good at this game, I started to realize that pumps were the way to go. So, even though the tack will always have a special place in my heart, it's kind of lacking now. But in the early game, I'll always make an inventory slot for this if I don't got any other shotgun or I just have room in my inventory. So moving on to the final of the good tier, we have the assault rifle. And I think the assault rifle is honestly, it's your assault rifle. It's a good gun, good range, good damage. It's honestly a really good gun, but there's just other guns that outclass it. And yeah, that is what I think of this. And actually, I lied. We have a couple more weapons in the good tier spot. So, one of the first weapons, or enough, coming in at number 11 is the heavy sniper. So this is my favorite sniper in the game, even though it only comes in at number 11. And I think that this is a good sniper. And I know if you're good with snipers, this is one of the best guns in the entire game. But for me, I really don't use it that much. So, yeah, that is why it's at number 11. And moving on to number 10, rounding out the good tier, we have the suppressed SMG. Now, obviously, you know, we just had a big patch where a bunch of weapons were vaulted. Bolt actions, bursts, heavy shotguns, and the normal SMG. And then we got the suppressed SMG in its place, and I feel so happy using this thing again. It is just such a good weapon. It's obviously not as good as the other ones on the list, but yeah. It's the first one to crack our top 10 spot, and I think it deserves number 10. It's a pretty good SMG. It's silent, which is always a nice thing, but other guns outclass it. So let's get on to number 9 and the beginning of the great tier. Now, at number 9 we have the pump shotgun, the OG one. Now, this pump has had a history in Fortnite. It first started off as the double pump and then swapped to pump tack, and now we're at pump SMG. Who knows where we're gonna go next, but this pump has always been really good. I didn't use it in Season 2, Season 3. I used it when the pump tack was around in Season 4, and then I fully swapped to it in Season 5. And ever since, this has been my favorite shotgun in the game. And I think it's a really good gun, really good, deserves to be up here. And let's just get into the next spot. Number 8 spot, we have the thermal scoped AR. Now, I don't use this thing much, but when I do, I always have so much fun with this gun. You can, and it's unique because you can have thermal and see other players, and there's no bloom on it, which is always appreciated, which I think it's a really good gun. And even though other assault rifles outclass it, I think it's a really good gun. And if you don't have an assault rifle, or at least a good one, put this one in your inventory. Moving on to number 7, we have the dual pistols. So when I made my top 5 favorite Fortnite guns, I had kind of nostalgia clouding my head, and I put the dual pistols in the top 5. Well, after they came back for a few weeks, I just figured out that really, they're not in my top 5 anymore. But they're still good guns, don't get me wrong. Now, I don't pick these things up unless if I'm in the early game or middle game, or I don't have any other gun to fall back on. But the dualies will always have a place in Fortnite. They're one of the most beloved guns in the game currently. And yeah, everyone's just happy that they brought back. I'm happy that they were brought back too. But yeah, dualies, keep on doing your thing. Number 6, top 6 territory, heavy AR. So, out of the 3 main big ARs we have, I think the heavy is the worst of the best in terms of my top 3 ARs. Don't get me wrong, I think it is still really good, and it certainly can pack a punch with the 96 headshot damage, but it is still a really good gun, really good for early game, middle game, late game. It's pretty much good in any scenario. but I just prefer other guns above it. Alright, the top 5. The compact SMG, the suppressed SCAR, the normal SCAR, the RPG, and the new pump shotgun. We'll start out with number 5, the suppressed SCAR. Now, I've been using this thing a lot in Team Rumble recently, and I've been starting to really like this gun. So that's why it's moved up a lot of placements since early Season 7. But it'll probably go down once I actually start not using it as much. But don't get me wrong, I think this gun is really good for what it is. And it was one of the best additions to Fortnite so far. And, again, always having silence helps. And being more accurate allows me to hit more shots, even though it does take a bit more time to kill, which is the main reason it's at number 5. Number 4, compact SMG. I said I love the SMGs, and the compact is the best SMG, obviously. It's fast, it's quick, and it packs a punch and damage. I normally keep it with my shotgun, and after I hit them with my powerful pump, I always swap into my compact and light them up to destroy their structures, and then possibly going for another pump blast. But yeah, the compact SMG is at number 4. We're gonna have to speed this up for the last 3. Number 3, the RPG. This gun is really good because ever since the quad launcher went away, I've been using the RPG a lot, and I think it is a very good gun to have. I've been using this thing a lot, as I said. It packs a punch and explosive damage, and even though it does take a bit of time to actually get going, it's a really good gun. But now that people are building really good now, you gotta play this thing versatile. Alright, down to number 2 and 1. The pump shotgun and the SCAR. I put the SCAR at number 2. So don't get me wrong, I love the SCAR. It is my second favorite gun in the game. And I think it's just such a good gun. And it's always iconic. It's Epic hasn't touched it much. It's always been one of the best guns in the game. It's always been so consistent. People rock it a lot, but I just prefer shotguns over ARs. And number 1, the new pump. Pretty much all the reasons I like the pump, but better. This thing can pack so much damage, so much utility, so good in build battles. I love this thing. So that has been my list of my top Fortnite guns. Obviously, in a week, it's going to be outdated, since either A, gun's going to be added, or B, a gun's going to be vaulted. But okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed my little video. Tell me what Fortnite top 5s or any other, ranking video you guys would like to see. And, well, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.